welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight I'm going to do a little something different. Phil and I, when we have something that we want to celebrate, like a birthday, or we just feel like hanging out together and having a fun night, what we often do is an appetizer night. And so we get together in the kitchen and think of all the yummy things we want to make. He makes some things, I make some things, and then we have our appetizers over the course of about an hour. And then it really is nice because it allows us time to have fun together in the kitchen, and it also slows down our dinner so that we're not just pounding our stomachs with a big meal, but we can eat a lot of different yummy things. So what I'm going to show you tonight is one of my favorites, stuffed mushrooms. So I've got some rather large brown mushrooms. They're a good shape for stuffing. You can fit stuff in here. Feel free to use whatever type of mushroom you like, but obviously the best kind is one that has a nice hollow in the middle for you to stuff. So I've got some onions started sauteing on the back here. They're just going in a little bit of olive oil. And I'm waiting to see them turn translucent. No need to brown. You can if you like, but no need to. And then I'm going to move on to some garlic. And I'm using the mushroom stems, which I have all chopped up already. So I'm ready for the garlic now. Just throw that in. Alright, so I'm going to get the mushroom stems in here as well. So I've chopped these up. Because I had to take them out of the mushroom, I didn't want to waste them. I'm going to put them in the stuffing. Really good use for them. They have a lot thicker texture. And I'm going to make this dish with some almonds, so it's going to go really nicely with the stems. Give us some good texture in the middle. Okay, I'm going to season this with thyme, and I'm out of fresh thyme at the moment, which is a shame, so I'm going to use some dried. Squish the dried thyme between your fingers to release the flavor, and get it in right now with the oil and the vegetables so that it can travel through your dish. Fresh thyme can be added now. It's pretty hearty. It'll stand up to the cooking that we're going to do, or you can add it at the end, whichever you prefer. Alright, I'm just going to let those cook for a few minutes. We'll be back in a second. Okay, this has been going for a few minutes, and the mushroom stems have really shrunk in size. They've released some of their juices, and I'm starting to smell the mushroom and the thyme coming together. It's really lovely. So that's ready for the next step, which is a little bit of wine. You can use red wine or white wine, depending on what kind of flavors you like, and maybe depending on what you're drinking that night. And I don't usually measure, just kind of gave a guideline in the recipe, but you just want it to sizzle on the bottom of the pan, and then you're going to wait for the juice to be pretty much cooked off at this point. So it's sizzling away, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water. Let's see what I got here. So a bit of water there as well. And then just make sure that everything's good and stirred. We'll add the mushroom tops to the pan. And this is where a basting baster, you know those squeezy things that you use for turkeys? That might come in handy here. You could get some juice up on the tops. Oh, now washing mushroom tops. A lot of people say not to get your mushroom tops wet, not to wash them, just brush them off. That is certainly the best way to do it. It'll retain the flavor of the mushrooms. But sometimes you get some really dirty mushrooms. And you know what? If you dry them off right after you wash them, they'll be fine. Don't worry about it. The stems will wash up beautifully. So when I used these stems, they had quite a bit of dirt on them. So I gave them a good wash. The tops, I rinsed very, very briefly and then dried them off. Now I'm having a bit of trouble here fitting all these mushrooms in my pan because I found some really beautiful, huge ones, but they're gonna be okay. And what I'm gonna do is just pour a little bit more wine over top of them because I don't have a baster. And what I'll do is just pour it in here and give it a little sprinkle. Lemon juice, also lovely if you have a fresh lemon in the house. You could sprinkle your mushroom tops with that. Add some beautiful flavor as well. All right, so while these guys are cooking for a few minutes, we can get the rest of the filling ready. What I've done is toasted some almonds and then ground them up in my coffee grinder. Very handy little tool for grinding things. I don't drink coffee, but I use it a lot. So I've got these almonds down to a powder with some chunks. I don't mind chunks here and there. Little almond chunk is pretty nice. I don't really like a butter texture, so don't grind it that much. If you don't have a coffee grinder, you could also use your blender maybe, or a food processor. Or you could buy ground almonds, but the flavor is so much better when you toast the almonds first and then grind them up. All right, into the almonds, what I'm gonna add is some salt. Sea salt, of course. And just go by feel. I go pretty much until I don't feel like grinding anymore. If you have some fine ground sea salt, just take like a pinch, and some black pepper, fresh ground, and a little bit of nutritional yeast. So about a tablespoonful. Now that is optional. If you don't have access to nutritional yeast, don't worry about that. It's for flavor. It makes things taste a little bit richer, a little bit cheesier, but you definitely don't need it. I just happen to be lucky enough to live in a place where I have a good source of these lovely things. Mushroom caps, just slightly cooked. They've started to collect a bit of colored juice in the middle, so that means they're just starting to cook, and that's all I want to see. Next is spinach, gonna go in the pan with the onions and the mushroom stems. Now I try to put approximate amounts when I post my recipes, but really what you should be doing is looking at what you're making and figure out how much you need. So if I look at these mushroom caps that I have here, I've got a pretty good pile of spinach going here. Now keep in mind that greens will always shrink when they cook, but I'm gonna do about 2 big handfuls of spinach that I've chopped up here. And then at this point, I'll add some salt here. That's gonna help draw the moisture out of the spinach. And make it wilt. So I'm gonna stir this in, and all I'm looking for is the spinach to just start to wilt. Because it's going in the oven after this, but you don't want it to be too stiff. Just want to bring the moisture out of the spinach, and then we'll mix it in with the almonds. So once everything's cooked, you're mixing it in. I've got most of my mushrooms stuffed here. Taste the mixture before you start stuffing your mushrooms. Make sure you like it. It's got enough flavor. Mine has a really wonderful earthy flavor. Those mushroom stems really add a lot. So I definitely recommend going that route. These guys have been in the oven for about 25 minutes and they're looking pretty nice right now. You can see them starting to get a little bit crispy on the top, and the juice is starting to flow around on the bottom. Lovely, smells delicious. Can't wait to eat them. Hope you enjoy.